My name is Kathleen Morrison, and I am a realtor with Keller Williams Southern Nevada Realty here in Las Vegas. I've been signed with them for just over a year. I love where I'm at and I love what I do. Prior to real estate, I was a full-time flight attendant for Southwest Airlines for 20 years. I still am on paper. I don't fly anymore. So face-to-face contact is my absolute favorite. I love to meet people in person, feel their energy, and actually get a feel for who they are and what's important to them. Ooh, that's a fun story. So a few years ago, my husband, who happens to be a pilot for Southwest, switched from one seat to the other. So he went from the top of a seniority list to the bottom of one. We were commuting back and forth to Seattle, and the move became necessary. We listed our house originally with a realtor who did not do a good or even really ethical job. And throughout the process of selling our home and buying a new one in a different state, I encountered a lot of people that I just didn't feel like they cared about what they did, and they weren't very good at it. So at one point I was medically forced out of flying due to ear issues. And so I got my real estate license and was determined to do better. So that's how I wound up here. So I do know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a less than ideal transaction. I should note that the person who wound up saving the sale of our house was another Keller Williams agent. Her name's Gail. And to this day, she's like my inspiration. I wish to be her when I grow up. So that's how I landed in real estate. I think that it adds a definite layer of me personally caring about what happens with the transaction, because I've been there when it didn't go well, and I've been there when it went fabulously. Hobbies, anything outdoors, hiking, swimming, kayaking, going anywhere. After so long in aviation, and especially because my husband's still in aviation, that doesn't always necessarily involve an airplane. So we have a camper, we have an off-road vehicle. I love taking off to the mountains or to the desert or to the beach, just anywhere that involves outdoors. I live in Vegas, but I really, the casinos are not my speed at all. I couldn't care less if I went. And I don't ever really go to the Strip unless somebody's in town and really wants to see it. So anything outside and active is my absolute favorite, especially if I can take my dog Ginger. What I love most about what I do is home is everything. Home is super important, and I think we've especially learned that this year. Home is where your story starts, and it's where it ends. So finding the perfect place that my clients are going to call home is vastly important. I work with a lot of airline people. A lot of my clients are coming from other states, so they're not necessarily familiar with Las Vegas. So I do a lot of very long days showing. I recently showed 20 homes in 2 days. That's a lot. And at one point, one of my clients said to me, she said, "I don't know how you look at houses all the time. This is exhausting." And it is exhausting when there's emotion involved for you. But for me, it's kind of like being on a game show. It's like finding the perfect match. So, anybody can set up a search on the MLS. Anybody can send you something that meets your criteria. But finding something that I know is going to speak to you, and there's going to be something about that house that's yours, is very exciting for me. And I take a lot of pride in being what I call a concierge realtor. I will meet your movers. I make sure your utilities are turned on. I've picked up furniture deliveries before. So I think that there's something very satisfying about being that full service type of person, to where you don't worry about anything. Once we submit the offer and it's signed and we're moving forward, I handle everything from there. I attend inspections for my out-of-state buyers. I make sure everything's lined up and ready to go before they get here. The house is cleaned, it's ready to be moved into. And I think that's very satisfying, and it's very rewarding, because I know what a huge deal it is to them, just like it was to me. Referencing flying again, and again, a lot of my clients are aviation folks. Having somewhere to come home to at the end of 6-9 days it's the most important thing. Being on the road can be exhausting, especially you're flying dealing with snowstorms or holidays or long days in the summertime. Home is everything. So it's super important to find somewhere that's just right to be your spot.